put this back on record.
Okay.
Cozy. Now that I've laughed so much, I'm like all.
Let's raise the vibrations for the sesh. I'll start mine. We'll start the heart and mind coherence.
Hand on my heart.
Then just focus on your breathing. In through the nose and out. And I'm doing the same. Feeling the chest expand as your hand moves up and down with each breath. And as you're doing this, you feel yourself relaxing, letting go, letting any cares of the day just fade away. And now, imagine that your heart itself is taking that breath in, all that beautiful air in and out. And as you're imagining your heart doing the breathing, it now is flowing and moving through your entire body. We are bringing the heart and the mind into coherence as we do this. Just breathing. Each breath in and out reminds us that our deepest connection with Source and our own greatest wisdom resides within. This is our heart space. Your heart knows, my heart knows. And as we do this together, we are aligning our energies and our hearts and our minds. Each breath in and out of your heart connects you completely with Source. And now, you may place your hands wherever is comfortable, and we will begin. Focusing now on all your senses, feeling, allowing. And as you feel yourself now, in this time and in this place, I want you to tell me the very first things that you see, or the very first impressions, as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
I see space. I actually see, I see stars. Actually, I'm on the outside of a ship. It's very interesting. I'm floating and I'm outside of a ship. The ship, it's got, maybe that's lights. I'm seeing like white and then yellow on the tip of the ship. There's these four, almost like prongs on either end. It's not a circular ship. It's not a disc. It's more like one of those four-sectioned ships. It's big. I'm being shown it's not a mothership. It's a transport ship. They're saying it's a transport ship.
Okay.
So what they're telling me then is that those bubbles, almost like they're windows, their bubbles on the ends are the seats where people sit and they view where the ship is going. It's a deck. They said deck. A viewing deck is what those are, that come out on either side of the body of the ship, and then there are viewing decks that come out on either side in the front and also in the back. One on the right, one on the left, and there's actually four of them. You would almost think of them as huge propellers, but they're not. So it almost looks like a space submarine, this transport ship, but the body of it is not long like a submarine. It's not like a torpedo shaped. This is interesting. The color of the ship is like a bronze, copper color, like a bronze.
Okay.
It's a transport ship, and I'm observing it from the outside.
Are you just part of the universe observing this, or are you also in a ship yourself?
Okay, now wait, I'm pulling back. So apparently I'm in the viewing deck. I'm in the rear viewing deck, the rear view deck, looking at the front view deck. So this is big.
Okay.
Apparently I'm sitting in the bubble as I pull back, because I thought I was wearing some sort of a helmet, but no, it turns out I'm in the bubble of the viewing deck on the back, on the rear left top viewing deck. There's a lot of viewing decks. We're being transported.
Can you sense where this transport is transporting to or from?
Well, we're floating. It almost feels like we're floating. We're moving slowly. So we're observing right now. We're observing.
Observing.
We're observing Earth. Oh, now I can see more. There's a lot of ships. We're docked. We're docked. We're docked. We're docked in the atmosphere. We're in Earth's atmosphere. I've heard we're at the trajectory. Don't know what that means. We're at the trajectory. We've docked. We are observing. We're observing the shift and helping to raise the vibration. There's a lot of activity around Earth. A lot. There's a lot of ships. Like the space is so crowded. There's like a lot. All of these beings. It's almost like an outer space amphitheater.
Yeah. I just got a download of it's like a drive-in theater, and they're all just here to watch the show.
It is. And the Earth is so small.
Yeah.
Compared to the amount of ships. There's like so many of us here. And I'm Adonis. Saw my hair. We're sitting, we're watching, we're viewing. But we're more than doing that. We're more than watching and viewing. We've been here all this time. I mean, this is our home. Our home is on the ships. So I'm in a transport ship viewing, but we're more than doing that. Okay, so I'm in a state of meditative observation. I'm in the view deck. Most of us are in the viewing deck that are having lives on the planet. And we as the higher self, okay, so we're the higher selves on the ships. Our galactic selves are our higher selves. Because then the oversoul is above us. Well, I'm understanding how the levels work now. Interesting. There's actually visuals with our higher self. As our higher selves, we move about, but then there are times that we go into the viewing deck and we sit in meditation and just tune into our earth fractals. Then there are other times when we move about on the motherships. There are other times that we're actually in the scout ships. Oh wow, I'm seeing lots of activity now. So they're showing me how we move about as the higher self. There are times when we actually get in with scout ships, what we would think of as UFOs. And we go into Earth's atmosphere and we lower our vibration just enough into 5th dimensional density, just so that our fractals can sense us. And then we can send more direct messages to our Earth fractals. Earth fractals meaning the humans. There's our higher self split, and there are several of us for fractals.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
So this observation, would this be a current timeline occurring as we speak?
Yes, this is happening now. And then they're saying, all things happen now, Kenny.
Yes. I thought that answer too as I was speaking
it. There's only now. It's all current timelines, but we are sitting here on the viewing deck currently, and we are in a space of meditative observing. We are observing all of you, our fractals, time jumping. It's very interesting to watch. It's interesting to observe you all jump as your fragmented selves, and then watch as sometimes you are cognizant of your jumping and you integrate. But we watch you jumping around a lot. It's like sometimes you could think of it as like stop motion and then a speed up. Time accelerates and it slows, then accelerates and it slows. So we get to watch you do these very interesting moves. The best way we can describe it, you would have to see it to understand what we're talking about.
Is that what some would call a quantum leap or a jump?
Oh, quantum leaping or quantum jumping, all of it is. It's all jumping. You are just starting to become conscious that you do this. Because there's only nows, there's only different timelines, and we get to watch you jump from line to line to line into all these different nows, but your earth minds connect it so that you think that everything's happening is a flow, as a continuum, but it isn't a continuum. It's very interesting to watch from above. You would call it above. We're just looking in different portals.
So there is a lot of activity, as many people are capturing. So how would you explain what all these sightings are and the purpose or the message trying to be portrayed?
It's your soul groups, what you would say your galactic family, helping you to become cognizant, to wake up, helping you to realize your galactic selves, your multidimensional selves, all fractals on the planet that you think of as yourselves as humans, you are fractals of us. All fractals are being awakened now. And so we've always been here, but you are raising your vibration more. Our vibration is much higher than yours. And we can lower our vibration to fifth and into a bit of fourth. And depending on who your soul family is, some soul families are in the fifth dimension density and can lower their vibration into third, fourth dimension density. You are in the third, fourth dimension. Third dimension, for most of you, is already folded, but for some of you still exists. Most of you are in the physical fourth dimension perception. Many of you are walking around in fifth dimension and higher. This one is walking around in higher than fifth dimension a lot of the time and comes into fifth dimension. This is why it's difficult for many of you now to interact with others or want to leave your home, because you're in a higher vibration.
Yes. So when do you feel that we, as a collective, are going to learn more of the Galactics?
You are now. It's not what your human plan was. It has to come in increments because so many star seeds are still not awake or just awakening and have Hollywood programming. And you have to be deprogrammed from Hollywood. That's the next step. You have to be exposed to what Hollywood has actually been. A scare, you could say a scare factory. Hollywood has been a scare factory with who we are, to discourage you from learning about your galactic selves. And it's going to start to be revealed. The next step is Hollywood has to be exposed. It's starting to come out in a trickle, but that will be some of the next big announcements, some of the next big reveals. It's all coming up in waves as that those of you that are awake are ready to see it just as it's been going. It comes up in waves through alternative. Eventually, the media will, as it's exposed, it will change, and then the public announcements that you are all looking for will happen. That's years off. There has to be a slow trickle first of the media being the lie that it is, the program that it is. And Hollywood is being dismantled. So Hollywood has to be exposed, and it has to come in increments, because humans have huge attachments to what this one calls their demigods. They are, on a metaphoric level, demigods. And it's going to be a lot. And some things got some reveals got slowed down a bit as we meaning the higher energies, now sources coming in, as source has viewed the ego reactions to what's been going on, to all of it, just the human reactions. So there's been a bit of a slowdown of revealing it all. Yes, we know that the awake ones are ready for all of it. This one's ready. You are ready. Most star seeds aren't, though. Most star seeds are still living in fear. It's growing. There's a larger number of star seeds, light workers, that are ready for the truth to fully be revealed, publicized, and for absolute new earth to be here. And that will happen for them before any other groups, because the star seeds are the way showers, the front runners, the ones to bring it in. But right now you're experiencing that great split of two earths. It will increase before it shifts. So to answer your question, the Galactics are here, have always been here. And that time of learning about how we interact with you will come about in due time. But it will, rest assured.
Now, do you feel that this disclosure of Hollywood and all the elite being exposed, is that going to help transition into a one world government?
Well, a one world government, if you are referencing a new world order, no. If you are referencing a one world government supporting a unity consciousness, that will come. That's going to be a while. That's going to be some of what you would call years, starting towards 2024 into 2026, because we are doing the groundwork, so to speak, as we move towards huge planetary alignments in the Aquarian constellation, beginning the age of Aquarius. Those great shifts are coming. You are not ready for that yet, but you're building momentum to that. You're growing. Many are not going to make it to that timeline of the age of Aquarius alignment. Many humans won't make it. They just aren't able to fulfill their soul contract that they came here for with Source. So many of them will return to Source or return to their home star system or their home dimension. and work through their soul contracts there. Not all of it has been decided. There are still details that are either being worked through, or we are waiting to see what the reactions and responses are. It just depends on the soul and the soul contract.
Now, many of us are attuned to another big shift or phase, wave occurring in the next week or so around Independence Day. Is there any truth around that?
July 6th, July 5th, 6th, 7th. It's a 3-day portal. There's an alignment and a shift. And there will be a change. That's all that's being shown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a surprise. The element of surprise is important for your learning and your growth. You're prepared. You are prepared for what's coming. You just keep rising above it. Rise high in your heart. Focus on purple. I'm seeing purple. Spiritual color, the color of the crown. August, you're preparing for August for the Lion's Gate portal opening that starts July 26th. That is actually going to be a much bigger shift. Whatever is coming, you are now prepared for it. So many are awakening. So many are ready. Many are ready for the revolution. And for those that are ready for the revolution, will experience the revolution. This is a war. But for those of you that are in your heart space, that unity consciousness that you speak of, those of you that even speak of unity consciousness are already moving into that higher vibration. You're holding the light in your area and you are being shifted geographically as well. Your location will be shifting. In 2021, many star seeds will move location, including this one, and including you, Kenny. They will be moving. You will simplify your homes, and you will start to come together physically in 2021 and start creating these communities that you so desire.
Now it's kind of a open-ended question, but what galactic groups could you say are currently helping us? Any specific ones?
Pleiadians, they've always been here. They're the most invested in the humans. Most of their DNA is in the humans. The Pleiadians have been on Earth since the beginning. There's some that agreed to live like humans. They look like humans and to keep their vibration denser. The Pleiadians work with your governments as well. Guide them. Pleiadians originally weren't always heart-centered. They are now. They are also learning compassion. The Syrians, this one is Syrian. Kenny, you also have some Syrian roots. Syrians help us Syrians have a very strong emotional body, are very heart-centered, and have also ascended quite beautifully. Are much higher. Felines, who also reside in the Syrian star system. Felines are very invested in Earth and are here helping, projecting love, compassion. And the higher aspects of the very low vibrational beings that have been on the planet, those that are reptilians, the higher reptilians, and the dragon beings. There are others, Andromedan, Hathor, Arcturian, Tausedian. There are others, Angelics, which are the Etherians. There are several other from further star systems, but that's the central core group. There's also the inner earth beings, the mantis beings, very loving. There are also inner earth reptilians. Not all the reptilians in inner earth are low vibration. There are much higher vibration reptilians in inner earth helping us from underneath.
That kind of segues into another question that we had about, could you briefly explain the difference between the lower and the higher Draconians?
The lower Draconians created the caste system of control, the pyramid, your monetary system that you currently use, your governmental systems. All the systems were created by the Draconians. They live in fear and they control through that fear. And they are royalty. They are about honor, kingdoms. Their higher aspects are the dragons. Dragons are peaceful, docile at times, very beautiful. Beautiful, vibrant colored scales, beautiful shapes of tails, and very healing beings, very loving, magically majestic, very mystical. Dragons are very mystical, very family and community oriented, and very heart-centered. Only when they are pushed, and you have to push them intensely, do they strike out and blow fire and smoke. That doesn't happen very often. They're actually very loving.
Thank you. So staying in alignment with Draconians and disclosures, do you feel that the next big one will be Hollywood related?
Yes, more and more of Hollywood is being exposed and will continue to. There isn't going to be one big announcement that will change everything dramatically because humans just can't handle that. And we are not here to destroy an entire civilization and just have a couple of million starseeds left on the planet. That's not the plan. Everything has to be done in balance. And so Hollywood is being exposed, and it's happening in increments as the media is being broken down. You will see arrests. You're seeing already the closures of some of the big celebrities. Some of the talk shows are canceled. Arrests have been made. There have already been many, many deaths. Many arrests have been made, and there have already been many deaths because there are also clones, and who many people think that they've been seeing a particular celebrity. What they don't understand is that they're actually seeing a clone. And if you really do look back at the televised history of that particular celebrity, you will see where the change happened from it being that actual person to a clone. That's what's going to be shocking for humans to learn, that they've been worshiping clones.
Now, do you feel that's going to be harder to digest over the reasons why they're being arrested?
All of it's difficult. The children's slaves, the women's slaves, the now becoming more of a buzzword topic in alternative media, adrenochrome, child sacrifice. Planned Parenthood is getting exposed for harvesting babies and fetuses for vaccines, for beauty products. Humans are going to learn more and more how the Draconian system has been using human infants to supply and maintain the false youth, the appearance, the so-called immortality. And it is false. It's all being exposed. It has to. And when the bigger announcements do come out, there will already be enough of the foundation of information laid down that it won't be such a shock. It will be accepted, and there will be then great change. It has to be done that way. There has to be a little less of a sensory overload on the human system, because the human system has been so programmed for so long, especially starting in the 20th century with the age of technology. The technology is a programming system. That is also being exposed slowly. Wi-Fi was created to control the energetic field of the human body, the system. The internet was created as a form of control. And how people feel and how they behave has actually been programmed. Those that are ready to hear it will. Those that are not, they will leave. And they will finish their soul contracts in another place, and they will understand. Everybody will finish their soul contracts in their time, in their way. All souls are loved and taken care of. All souls. What is important right now is to cultivate the compassion for those that are awake, the compassion for this entire awakening, this entire process, for all beings, especially those that caused, that created, that inflicted all of the dark. They actually need the most compassion. That is what's going to bring all of you into unity consciousness, is heart-centered compassion. Because then you will understand why all of this has occurred. For growth.
Now, when you say individuals will leave or not make it, can you expand a little bit on that?
They will leave their bodies. What you would say, their bodies die, they expire. The body will not make it. They will die. But death is just a transference from one conscious state to another conscious state. So as they leave their third dimensional bodies, they will understand immediately as they leave the body and will be happy to leave the body, joyous. Because as they do, they start to really understand all of this. They will leave their suffering behind. In the body, those that are not ready for a higher timeline, for a higher vibration, they are suffering now. They're learning. The suffering is for learning, but suffering is for the third and the fourth dimensional vibration. There is no suffering in fifth dimensional vibration. There will be challenges in fifth dimensional vibration, but there's an understanding of what that challenge is because there's a higher perception.
So Sonya has shared before about how there's no more incarnations. So how does that relate to these souls that are leaving before this shift?
There are other dimensions for them where there are what you would think of as a cloned Earth, prototype, different prototypes of Earths for them to go to. It's their choice. They still have their free will to exercise. So there are other planets that are Earth-like, where their guides are already set up for them, where their higher selves are already set up for them, waiting. And soul contracts are being, what you would say, renegotiated with other souls, the souls that are still working through their third and fourth dimensional density, their soul contracts. They will be going to those other Earths, but those other Earths will be much lighter, actually, than what you've been experiencing here. You could say easier. It's like a summer school they get to go to. It's a little bit easier, a little bit lighter, to work through their contracts to learn. They want to. They want to go to these places. So as they leave their body, they will be given the choice, with their guides' help, of where they can go. They have a choice from several different planets. Those that are from other dimensions also have choice. They don't necessarily have to go to a planet. It's all very individual, actually. It just depends on your belief system. What you believe is the reality you experience.
Thank you. So on a bit of a lighter topic, before we end this session today, could you describe the crop circles and the huge shift in their own presentations recently?
Crop circles are multidimensional symbols of activation of the DNA. It's essential that when you all see the images, and there is video footage of them as well, that you look at it several times. They are codes. They are light codes from us. We are helping you. These are some of the ways that we can help you without violating your free will. It's a very powerful law. We would never violate it. But we are allowed to give you activation symbols. They also activate the light language. You all have light language, spoken and written. So look at the crop circles. They are powerful activation codes. They're very joyous. They help you to become more conscious, more cognizant. They help to turn on all of your bodies, your light bodies. Enjoy them as they come in. We support you. We are fully here for you because we are you. We are higher vibrational aspects of you. If you understood that you are fractals of us, there's not just one of you from us, through us as your higher self. There's multi of you. There are fractals of you. And as you integrate, you understand this more. As you become more conscious, your fractals start to integrate more into being a whole aspect of you. And when you come into fifth dimensional vibration, there will be less fractals of you as you raise vibration. As you raise vibration, you rise up closer to us, your higher self. These are the fun aspects of the game. And it is a game.
Oh yes, I often call it a multi-dimensional chess game. It's
very accurate. It's very accurate. It is like a chess game. It's a lot of fun. We are you and you are us, and we are the conscious, fully conscious aspect of all of you. You are completely loved. So many of you have forgotten, and that's the purpose of the game, is to lose consciousness to what you would say up the stakes. But you're us. So you're never cut off from us, even though you perceive it that way, because you're in such a density that you can't always hear us or see us or perceive us or know us or feel us. We're always here. It's not possible for us not to be. It's not possible for you to be alone. It's not possible for you to die a horrible death and be cut off forever and just go black and that's it, you're done. That's just ego fear talking. When you leave your body, when your body is done, when what we would say it expires or you just shift, when you die, you don't die. Your body just changes form and you raise your vibration and go into a higher consciousness. That's all that happens. That's all it is, literally. In less than a split second. And you understand everything. And as soon as you're out of that so-called body, you're so joyous and you want to do it again. So we do. Because we learn.
Wow. Is there anything else you'd like to share, being the Galactics that we're connected to in the moment?
Live from your heart. Unity consciousness is real. It's reality. All there is unity consciousness. We're all oneness. We're all just different aspects of one consciousness. You could say different eyes, different viewfinders, different lenses. Enjoy the shift. You came here for this. You couldn't wait to be here for this. You were so excited. There's many jokes amongst the awake starseeds on social media. Grab your popcorn, get a front row seat. Show has already begun. Enjoy it. Live from your heart. Love yourself and love each other. Please stop taking this so seriously. It's a game. And the illusion is shifting. You are pure love, all of you. Pure love. There is only love. The darkness is also love, just a different expression of it. There's only love.
Yes. And that was already a beautiful message, but I was about to ask if there was any closing message for the collective to just aid them in preparation for this and all of this unfolding.
Breathe. The breath is a tool for the human body. It's a tool for you to get control of your body. It is a system. And be outside in nature as much as possible and eat watery, fibrous plants. That will help you. Be in the sun. Get in fresh water. Come back together, be with each other, physically touch each other. No gloves are needed. Hug and kiss, no masks are needed. Build your immunity this way. Be one with each other. Respect each other's difference, celebrate it, enjoy your diversity, touch and hug and kiss and look into each other's eyes, be outside together. Enjoy the adventure.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to bring your light body back to your physical body now. Just bringing your energy back to your physical form. all of your renewed and realigned and vibrant energies returning now into your body. But before you open your eyes, you take note. Note of the expansion of your heart and the increased depth of your wisdom and knowing. And you send gratitude to all who participated in your journey today. And I will count to 5. 1. You are beginning to wake up now. 2. You can move your arms and legs, and it feels so good to stretch and move. 3. You are now back in this room and coming back to your body completely. 4. Coming completely back into your physical form and everyday conscious awareness. And 5. Feeling wonderful, refreshed, energized, and you are fully awake, returning to your everyday awareness and consciousness. Take your time.
Had a big pressure on the left top of my crown as I was coming back in. I got zapped. Kind of got zapped back in.
Yeah.
That was
You're out deep. You're far.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to go deep, and it's a key. It's a key for people who want to have quantum healing hypnosis or QHHT or BQH or any of it. You got to meditate every day. You just do, and it doesn't take much. I meditate multiple times a day, and then you can get focused. You know, it's how Esther Hicks channels Abraham so easily, or how Daryl Anka channels Bashar so easily, or any of the other transmedium channels, Michaela Sheldon, who transmedium channels all of those other wonderful high beings. Yeah. It's how we do it is you have such intent focus. And when you focus, it's right there for you.
Yeah, it's like any other practice skill, like an artist that can just wake up and be like, oh, here's Mona Lisa. Like, you got to just practice your skill. I always bypass with our sessions, because of your ease into it, a huge beginning part of any session with us. It's setting the intention, relaxing the body, but when you already have it naturally, just like, boom, let's get into it.
Well, yeah, the more that you practice, what you said about practice is true. I mean, you and I now have hypnotized each other several times. And I mean, I've had enough of my own sessions as well, but I also have a life history, or her story of hypnosis. My sister and I, we used to hypnotize each other when we were little kids, and we noticed that we could do some super cool things with our bodies when we were under hypnosis. We used to do it at slumber parties with our girlfriends, and then I worked for, it might have been a year, when I lived in Los Angeles during my Hollywood career, with Dr. Bruce Goldberg, who wrote Past Lives, Future Lives. He was one of the first well-known past life regressionists. So I took one of his Learning Annex courses on past life, future lives, and I just happened to be really good at hypnosis because I'd practiced it as a child. And he asked people to relate their experience, and I did, and I just spoke so succinctly with it that he asked to work with me. So I did. So I have a lot of hypnosis practice as well. It's just about focus. That's all it is.
If you send me the links, I'll share them in the description box below.
I'll find. I haven't tried to find Dr. Bruce Goldberg in so many years. I'll find him. He's really good.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm not sure I remembered everything that was spoken.
It was awesome. Like, I made my little notes beforehand, and like, you were, of course, always one step ahead with me before I even asked the question. I'm like, oh, well, there's that one. There's that one.
It goes. Yeah, there's such a. I have. Well, I mean, I have conscious aspect to the Akashic records, as many people do, and they don't realize it. I used to think there was some sort of special technique to be connected to the Akashic records, but it isn't. It's really just about reading somebody's grid, their electromagnetic field around their body. But I connect to the Galactics so quickly every time I go into quantum healing. Like, I'm right there.
As you know, like a lot of clients, it's gradual till we get to that point, because it's a lot of like past life things that need to be healed and released, and then there's other lifetimes. But you know, when you get to that galactic higher dimensional stage, because they start talking we, our, you, third party, and then they talk about ships being in around stars, but you just instantly from the beginning, I'm in space. There's a ship. And then I'm just like, oh, awesome, we're in it. We're in it.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, start with being in the you called it the transporter.
Okay, so what it looked like, so the ship was bronze colored. Wasn't sure it was bronze or copper until I said copper, and then when I speak these things, then they show me the differences. Copper gleams, I guess I want to say. Copper has almost kind of like a metallic reflection back, and this didn't do that. This had more of a dull finish. So it was a bronze ship. It had a body to it, but it was, you know what? It almost reminds me of a large version. Now, I couldn't get this when I was under, and now it's coming in. The original first 3 Star Wars X-Wing fighters.
I've never seen Star Wars.
Yeah, so in the first 3
I'll
films
look it up.
from my youth, the X-Wing fighters were.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, my son's a fan.
Yeah, 2 pieces on top of each other, and they're like an X.
Yeah.
So they go off like that, and then there's an underpiece. So there's a top piece and an underpiece. There's 2 pieces of machinery, and then the bottom pieces also go out like 2 huge metallic X's put on top of each other. Well, this transport ship actually had a full body that resembled a submarine, a torpedo, but it wasn't a bullet shaped, and so I couldn't see that as well because I was actually on top. So there were these it's almost like they were X's, and I couldn't get that either because I kept seeing it, and I wanted to take my hands. I'm very physical.
I got that image because you said there was 4 like probes.
Yeah.
So like I just automatically thought of an X.
So they go off. So you have the body, and then you have these. Probably there are corridors that go off like this, and you've got these look like headlights there, and then they also go down to the bottom. What probably are 2 quarters, and then these glass domes like headlights on the bottom. And I'm sitting up in the back on the left. Here's the body of the ship. There's another corridor that goes off and like a headlight bubble there, and I'm in this top back left bubble, and I'm seeing, so I thought I was just floating in space at first next to the ship, because I'm seeing the front corridor going up to the top bubble and the bottom bubble, and I can see that far right in the bottom, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at these interesting bubbles. What is that? Is that a window? Is that a headlight? What am I looking at here? And I thought I was floating. At first, I kept getting like these flashes that I'm like in a spacesuit with an air umbilicus connected. No, and then I kind of felt like, oh, that must have been my imagination I put in there. And then I pulled back because I'm experiencing this, and I'm experiencing myself just kind of sitting here.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
There like this. I'm like sitting there like this, and I can just kind of, my eyes are closed, and I'm seeing through my third eye, and I'm just sitting like this in the top bubble, and it turns out that it's a viewer. I think that's really what it was more. It was a pod. It was a viewer pod. Did I say like a view? Did I say view something view?
You said you were observing, but you're in a meditative state observing us as our fractals on Earth.
Yeah, it was like a view pod.
And I kind of connected. I should have asked while you were under if it was the same like modular room that you brought up in our past sessions before.
It wasn't. It was a different ship. It was a transport ship. It wasn't the mothership. It was a transport ship. And then it ended up being, it was so fascinating because I'm in my own transport ship. And by the way, you were sitting next to me in the pod, but there was a group of us. It was our group. So well, I got that there were 5 of us in that particular view pod holding, we were just focused. We were meditating and focused. There were 5 of us. It's the same 5 that were when we were in the last one, we were walking on the planet with all of our hair.
Yeah.
And somebody's named Andromeda in our group, in our core 5. I just heard an Andromeda. Who's Andromeda? I just heard that. And Andromeda, like this female is saying, and remember.
And me, yeah.
And Andromeda, and I'm like, who's Andromeda? Your name's Andromeda, like the star system? Yes.
That's
I'm
awesome.
still very connected. You have, they keep calling you Dante to me.
Remember, I think it was our first session, you said it was an F name, and I've been trying to rack my brain and keep an open mind when I hear it. And
we call you Franco. We call you Franco, Franco, but it's a short version of a really long galactic name, and it's just easier to call you Franco. You have this really exotic name. It's super, that's what they keep saying. They're like, no, his name is so exotic. We call you Franco as a joke.
I love that.
But you have this really long, exotic name from the original star system that you come from.
Wow.
It's not easily pronounceable. They said you have to have a perfect type of a little, like there's a catch in the, and so and since we're all telepathic, we joke a lot. We have these jokes. We just say, oh, it's just easier to call you Franco. We call you Franco as a joke. Is actually your actual name doesn't begin with an F. But we call you Franco as a joke because you're very exotic and very beautiful, and Franco doesn't really fit what you look like.
That's awesome.
Your hair is like tentacles, actually.
Oh, I believe it. That's one of the reasons why I got this hairstyle. I always saw myself with like long tendril hair and.
Oh,
you know.
what? Okay, so it's your higher self that's saying. Actually, you have to be underwater to say your name, and you have to say it with a bunch of bubbles. Yep. You have to be underwater, and it has to come through bubbles. You just said it's an aquatic name. You're not going to get it until you're underwater. So we all joke and call you Franco.
That's awesome.
Because your name doesn't even have any sort of an English.
Right. Kind of like how the aquatics, all the animals use.
Name. It's
these like clicks and stuff. Yeah.
They said it's oh, they're telling me it's like a sound, like a hue. Your name is a sound. It's a bunch of sounds put together.
Yeah. Wow.
So we gave you a more lower vibrational name.
Franco.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you look aquatic. Your eyes are smaller than your eyes are here. They're more almond shaped. They're smaller, actually. They look more Asian.
Mm.
It's interesting to see your skin. You've got your skin is more watery. You're an aquatic being. I don't think I've seen you this clearly before. You're more of an aquatic being. You come from an oceanic place. Yep. You're an oceanic being.
Yeah.
And you're able to shapeshift, and so you're showing me a little bit of your watery self.
Yeah, even in, I think it was our first session when I connected with the Wise One, it was hard for me to explain what I was seeing visually because it kept just vibrating into something different. Like as I was think of something, I would like morph into that being. So that makes total sense what you just said.
Well, you shapeshift easily because you've been many beings, but your first consciousness after being what I like to say is extracted from source.
Yeah.
Separated from source. It's just an extraction. Is you went to an aquatic, they went to an oceanic planet in a star system that's very, very far from here. I'm originally from Sirius star system, which is closer to here, still far away, but you're from a star system that's very, very far away.
Oh yeah.
And so you've had many, 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 many bodies. You've had many lives on many different star systems in different dimensions, in different realities, and so you like to express. You can shapeshift and show those different bodies whenever you want to. You can take different forms because those are some of the different forms. We all do that. I do that as well. Apparently, I like this Adana appearance or Adonis appearance more.
Right.
It's not my Sirius. I'm a mer being, and in Sirius, I'm an oceanic being, but I'm also a land being as well. But the Adonis, I don't know what it is about the Adonis identity that I'm very.
We should find like a character artist who can draw all these images that you explain.
Oh, they look cool.
Awesome.
They look really cool. I mean, they look like the Super Friends.
That's what I envisioned.
They look like Marvel. They look like Marvel characters, only brighter, not dark and ominous like the Marvel characters look. They look bright, multicolorful, fluorescent sometimes. They look really cool. And there's orbs in their field. Some of them sparkle a lot. The higher the vibration you go, the less dense they are, the more colorful they become, and the less form they have.
Yeah.
The more sound they take on. Everyone has a sound frequency.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It really is. I love it.
So we got some interesting information. It looks like it's going to continue on its current path. And of course, everything's open because there's free will. So as we as starseeds, this is just kind of coming in right now, as we as starseeds come together more within ourselves and come together online and in physical presence together more, we also can change those timelines.
Mhm.
I'm being shown that there is no timelines that are written for our Earth right now, other than it's just a high vibration.
And that's why I always love the analogy of the multidimensional chess, because even in a real 3D game of chess, you may have 5 different moves planned, but as soon as the opponent makes one, you're like, oh, okay, now I can do this. We're at that like limbo stage of there's 3 to 5 possible big shifts that could happen, but until that happens, can we know the rest that are going to unfold from there?
What I was really seeing, I was seeing multiple timelines. I was seeing timelines, and what we're doing is we are changing the annihilation timelines that we've already played out. This is the 6th attempt at ascension, folks. We've already done 5, and we've already annihilated everything. We've already blown up the planet and blown up all the species, and then we wiped that out and started it over again. And Source is not doing that now. Source isn't gonna, we're not allowed to do that. Who started this virus? Source did. Source started that, but it was also, I don't know if I voiced that when I was under hypnosis, but I heard, I mean, Source was here where but it's this, I get that, Source. And what Source shared was, I created the pandemic because this was already spiraled off of the balance. And we
ignited so much, so fast.
Yeah, we were supposed to have the great solar flash, actually. And we were so far off the course that Source created a pandemic. Is it a virus? Yes, I'm hearing. Is it a bacteria? Yes. Is it a disease? Yes, it's all of it. I created it, is what I'm hearing, to change things now. And I'm hearing right now, it's the great experiment.
Oh, yeah. That's why we have a whole audience, as you described.
Lot of galactics. That's a lot of galactics out there. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Around Earth, it's so crowded. That was so many when I started to pull back and see, and I was seeing through my third eye. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of us here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us here.
It's clear from all of the things like I mentioned being captured. It's nonstop. Every night I can go out there within 5 minutes. I'm seeing so much activity. So it's so hyped up right now. And it's amazing.
So much. And also, I mean, I'm on social media a lot, looking, searching, seeing, connecting with people, advertising my work, and I will see a lot. And I will see many starseeds, light workers, way showers post their fear about the Galactics. So here's one thing I want to address in this. I'll see posts about fear. There's nothing to fear about the Galactics. The fearful Galactics are the ones who have been controlling this planet for 350,000 timelines.
Yeah.
You're already living with them, and you have been. So let's clear that up right away. You do not need to fear the Galactic Federation of Light. That's your higher self.
Yeah.
A white orb right here. saying this. You're fearing your higher self. You do not need to fear your higher self. You can just knock that off right now. Number two, I've seen some posts from some older starseeds of rage against the Galactics and why haven't you come down and why haven't you saved us and blah, 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 blah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Number one, you're ground crew. We're ground crew. Number two, it's up to you to raise your vibration, to rise up to see and experience the higher galactics. You agreed to come here and be in a lower vibrational density to experience this and for the game of how to raise your vibration. You have absolutely no cause to be mad at them because they're you. So you're just mad at yourself.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there's a video that was put out recently of an elderly woman who is just crying and bitching at the Galactics. And I'm like, and I didn't pass it along to you because I didn't want to put any more energy into it. It should not be shared. It just needs to be erased, actually. And she's got her own YouTube channel, and she claims that, I didn't look at her YouTube channel. She claims that I'm ground crew. She's older. She's an elder starseed. I'm like, great for you that you made it. You're an elder starseed. You're like my mom. Awesome. But what are you fucking ranting about? And let me tell you, Galactics, and this is real emotion, and I have an emotional body, and you've forgotten your emotional body. I'm like, what is she bitching about?
That's how I feel collectively, as we've shared many times. Just like, you're so confused. Let's talk about this. And this, I think you brought it up too in your session. We're experiencing that one of the biggest shifts ever. And even these supposed spiritual leaders and these healers are attacking other colleagues because of their own.
Oh yeah, let's clear that, shall we? Because Candace Craw-Goldman brought that up on.
Oh, did she?
Facebook,
I haven't been on media in a while.
Et cetera, et cetera. And we've talked about that. So bring that up. Let's talk about how the spiritual community is attacking within themselves. Let's address that. Because that's fresh, and we're going to put this out immediately. We're not going to put this one on the back burner. This has to be addressed. So please share, Kenny, what your, because you put a great GIF. I'm still laughing about your GIF. Can everybody just get along?
I just love it. Like, why is everyone so angry? Like, I'm so, as pompous as it sounds, I'm so evolved beyond all that bullshit that when I have to like succumb to it just to help other people who are supposed to be helping other people, I'm like, where is this connection happening, people? Like,
but you have to put a GIF out there. Come on.
Yeah. Right. I think it was Will Ferrell. Yeah, he was a turnaround. Everyone just love each other. Come on. Like, shut up. Like, why is this ride could be so smooth and fun? You could be singing choruses in the background, but instead you're fucking nitpicking each other like children.
And Candace, I love it when Candace Craw-Goldman responds to your, whenever you do little things like that. And you do, I watch these things. The two of you are so funny. Well, we gotta alert Candace that she's gonna watch this. Because Candace, she tagged you, Kenny. LOL.
Oh, I have to look.
Funny. She's like, Kenny. She was funny.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about myself is people just randomly will message me to say thank you so much. Like, you just help like clear the energies and just make so much sense of something that people are blowing out of proportion. I'm like, I don't know what else to do because you're acting like a fool. So someone needs to point it out. My ego is healed enough to take all of that bullshit energy because it just goes. I'm not absorbing that shit.
First of all, for all of the spiritual ego, I honestly, outside of the arrogant ego, I find the spiritual ego the most intense to deal with. I don't deal with spiritual ego. I've met enough spiritually. I've been to Mount Shasta enough, and I've been to Sedona enough, and I've been to Joshua Tree Monument enough, and I went to Machu Picchu and lived there. I've seen enough spiritual ego. I don't do spiritual ego.
No.
My my ego went into spiritual ego for like a nanosecond. And then me as a soul said, oh, no, ego, we're not going to go in. I mean, love and light. I was like, oh God, did I just fucking say that?
Yeah.
Enough of that, machete to the spiritual ego. That's how I feel. Machete the spiritual ego down. So for all of you light workers, starseeds, way showers that are coming from spiritual ego, knock that fucking shit off. Like, enough. And I'm your parent. I'm old enough now. I've been around long enough. I came into this body in the 1960s. You stop that. Like, there is no place for spirit. Look at that. That gets that going in me. I was all nice and calm before.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, that's fucked up. And you got to stop that, because spiritual ego separates us. That's what's so great about Awaken with JP. Oh, you know what? And we'll plug to Awaken with JP. JP Sears with the spiritual ego. We'll plug that underneath. I'll send you one of his best videos on spiritual ego. That's why he chews it, and you asshole, is because yes. And spiritual ego does need to be chewed, and you asshole, because it's so fucked up. What are you doing? I'm going to talk to you right now here in the camera, spiritual ego. What are you doing? Why in the world would you offer your spiritual services and then go in and attack your spiritual colleagues? Why would you do that? That's not unity. There's nothing unity about that.
My only, again, because I use my analogies because words, is the Miss Cleo effect. Like, I grew up where Miss Cleo was all over the fucking TV, and it was a turnoff for many people to the spiritual world, because she's just turned it into this very spiritual, egotistical thing. Like, call me, call Miss Cleo, I can fix anything. Or just like, can you? Because even as a kid, something ain't right about this bitch. Like, I don't know. So that was a turnoff for me for a very long time. But that's exactly what so many people are doing en masse right now, because they think, oh, I have this platform, I have this many followers, I have this much success. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, whether you healed or assisted one person compared to a million doesn't mean shit to me. Your shit still...
Here's what I do. I've had a YouTube channel since late 2014, when I used to have a podcast broadcast. You don't hear about that. I didn't go on there. I did it through News 72 Media, through my former producer, Kelly, and she's great. We can plug her on here too, because she's got a great station, News 72 Media. I love her, and I did a broadcast through her and a podcast, and that's why I started my YouTube channel. I've never ever put a YouTube channel out there to get subscribers. Do I ask? I pitch, sure. I don't monetize. I don't make any money from my YouTube channel. That's not why I put it out there. I put it out there to inspire people and to educate them about quantum healing, to bring energy and focus into quantum healing and quantumhealers.com and Candace's work and our work and Alba Weinman's work and Allison Coe's work and all of us, everybody who's out there, all of our work. I bring it for quantum healers and for all of you that want clients and are offering your healing. And for us, I've been on Facebook since 2009. I didn't want to go on Facebook. It was my family that set me up for it. Oh, you should advertise. I'm like, oh God, not Facebook. Instagram, same thing. I don't care how many people. I've never bought subscribers. You know, when you go on Instagram, they pitch it at you. Hey, spend this much. I've never done that. I've never paid for anybody followers, likes, none of that. I just consistently put out inspirational, educational material and serve whomever wants to receive it. That's all I do. I also do a tremendous amount of light work behind the scenes. I have never asked for any sort of accolades or anything for it. I support so many people that most people don't even know.
Right.
So you give of yourself because it opens up your heart and it fills your heart that you're supporting others. But you don't do it for your ego. If you're doing it for your ego, get out. Leave.
It's a very slippery slope. I understand, and it's a very blurred line of when you reach that pinnacle of success, or when you need the income to live. We get it, right? We get that, Right.
I need the income. I'm supporting a household, solo support of a household on what I do. Let me share something with you. When you do it from your heart and you just put it out there, you are attracting who needs it from you. That's how I have built my YouTube channel, even though it's small. I have built more than I think it might be more than 500 subscribers now. You guys, it's now 2020. That started in 2014. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. That's just from my passion and my heart put out there. My Instagram, same thing. My Facebook, same thing. It's just me just consistently posting and putting out through my passion.
Yeah.
You have to do it. If it's not coming from your heart, don't do it at all.
No. Yeah, if it's forced, if it's anything's forced, it's just not flowing. It's really just.
There's no room for competitive energy, competitive vibration in quantum healers. There's no room for competition ever. There's only room for respect, for learning, for mutuality, for celebration of diversity, and for total support. That's unity consciousness. Quantum healers is about unity consciousness. That's what our talks is about as well.
Right. And we started these talks just because of our conversations that we were having every day. We're like, we should share this. It wasn't like we need to do this to have this success, to have these followers. Like, no, like I feel like people will like to hear what we have to say. And so far the response has been beautiful, amazing.
It has been.
It's evolving into something magical, and we're about to have one of our first guest hosts. So I'm loving the process. It's flowing organically and beautifully.
It's flowing, and when we co-create together, it's so much. I mean, it's easy. This is easy. It's easy to do this. We love talking with each other. It's easy to cover these subjects, these topics. They are endless. I mean, before we even recorded them, like, oh, we should do talks on that. Oh, and there's another subject for talks. And 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 I mean, also, now that we're planning on having our first guest hosts and sharing our platform with other people to have their voice being heard.
It's fun.
It's just endless.
So fun.
It is so
the
fun.
hardest part is just plugging ourselves like we're about to do. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm Kenny.
I'm Sonya.
And thank you so much.
Yes, so if you are interested in a quantum healing hypnosis session with me, healing sessions with me, my life coaching group, or my bit sessions, go to my new website, SonyaWilderWellness.com. You can also find me on quantumhealers.com as well. And for you, Kenny?
Yes, I'm on all media, just under my name, Kenny Baker III. My website is in the works, and quantumhealers.com/Kenny Baker III. Thank you. Thank you everyone so much. We love you.
We love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.